Sarah, I've always wanted to ask you something. How do you manage to stay so organized every single day? You always seem to have everything together, and I can barely keep up with my schedule.
Aw, Mike. I wasn't always this organized, but I've found that having a daily routine really helps me stay on track. It's like having a roadmap for the day. Without it, I'd be lost.
A roadmap? That sounds great, but my day feels like chaos. What does your daily routine look like? Maybe I can learn a few things and finally get my act together.
I'd love to share it with you. My routine is pretty simple, but it helps me stay productive and keeps my stress levels low. I think it's all about finding what works best for you, but I'll tell you what I do, and you can see if any of it fits into your life.
Sounds good. So, how do you start your day? What's the very first thing you do when you wake up?
The very first thing I do is wake up at 6 a.m. I know it sounds early, but waking up at the same time every day has really changed things for me. I used to sleep in, but now I find that waking up early gives me a head start.
6 in the morning? That's way earlier than I wake up. I usually snooze my alarm until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
I used to do that too. Hitting the snooze button feels good at the moment, but it actually makes you more tired. Waking up early gives me extra time to start my day slowly and with purpose. After waking up, I spend 5 minutes stretching. It's a simple routine, but it helps my body wake up gently.
Stretching sounds easy enough. I could try that. What do you do after stretching?
After that, I drink a big glass of water. Staying hydrated first thing in the morning is so important. Our bodies get dehydrated overnight, so rehydrating right after waking up helps me feel refreshed.
That's something I should do more often. I usually go straight for the coffee, though.
A lot of people do that. Coffee is great, but I try to hydrate before having my first cup. Once I've had my water, I take a quick shower. It wakes me up completely, and by the time I'm out, I feel energized and ready to tackle the day.
Okay, that's two things I need to start doing: stretching and drinking water. I like it. What about breakfast? Do you have time to eat before you start your day?
Absolutely. I never skip breakfast. It's the fuel that gets me going for the day. I usually keep it simple, something like eggs, oatmeal, or a smoothie. I try to eat something that's healthy but also quick to make.
I always skip breakfast. I just never feel hungry in the morning. Maybe that's why I feel sluggish halfway through the day.
Breakfast really makes a difference. It doesn't have to be something huge, but even a small meal can give you the energy you need. I find that when I eat breakfast, I'm more focused and less likely to get distracted later.
That makes sense. Maybe I'll start with a smoothie or something light. Like you do. What happens after breakfast? Do you dive straight into work?
Not right away. I take a few minutes to plan my day. I always make a to-do list. It helps me stay focused and know exactly what needs to be done. Without it, I'd be all over the place.
I've tried making to-do lists before, but I always end up ignoring them. How do you stick to yours?
The key is to prioritize. I list everything I need to do, but I focus on the top 3 most important tasks. That way, even if I don't get everything done, I've accomplished the most crucial things.
Ah, so it's not about trying to do everything at once. You just focus on what matters most.
Exactly. Trying to do everything can be overwhelming. By focusing on the top priorities, I can stay calm and productive without feeling like I'm chasing after too many things.
I've got to try that. I always feel like I'm juggling a million things at once. What do you do when you start to feel tired or lose focus during the day?
That happens to everyone. When I feel tired or distracted, I take short breaks. I'll get up, walk around, grab a snack, or even just look out the window for a few minutes. Taking small breaks helps me recharge and refocus.
I usually just push through and end up feeling completely drained by the afternoon.
I used to do that too, but short breaks actually help me work longer without burning out. I've found that working for 25 to 30 minutes, then taking a 5-minute break, keeps me sharp.
That sounds like a good system. What about the afternoon? Do you keep going nonstop?
In the afternoon, I like to work on more creative tasks. I find that my mind is clearest around this time. but I also make sure to listen to my body if I need a longer break. I'll take one.
Do you ever feel guilty for taking breaks? Sometimes I feel like I should just keep working.
Not anymore. I've learned that breaks are a necessary part of staying productive. You can't work at full speed all day long. It's important to give your brain some time to rest.
That's true. I usually feel better after a break, but I've always felt guilty about it. I'll try to think of it as part of my workday, like you do.
Exactly. Taking care of yourself is just as important as getting things done. And in the evening, I wind down. I stop working around 6 p.m. so I can relax.
What do you do to relax? Do you have a specific routine for the evening too?
I do. In the evening, I might go for a walk, meet up with friends, or just read a book. It's all about slowing down and giving myself time to unwind after a busy day.
That sounds like a good way to end the day. What about dinner?
I keep dinner simple, just like breakfast. I usually have something healthy, like a salad, grilled chicken, or fish. I try to avoid heavy or processed foods that can make me feel sluggish.
You're way ahead of me on that one. I'm always ordering takeout.
It's all about balance. I love takeout too, but I try to cook at home most of the time. After dinner, I'll do something relaxing, like watching TV or listening to music.
And what about bedtime? Do you have a set time, like you do in the morning?
Yes, I try to go to bed by 10 p.m. That way, I can get enough sleep and feel refreshed in the morning. Sleep is so important for your overall well-being. It's the foundation of everything.
I stay up way too late most nights, watching TV or scrolling through my phone. I know I should go to bed earlier, but it's hard to break the habit.
It is hard, but once you start going to bed earlier and getting enough sleep, you'll feel the difference. You'll have more energy, think more clearly, and just feel better overall.
I believe you. I think I'm going to try a few of your tips. Maybe I'll start with just waking up at the same time every day and see how that goes.
That's a great place to start. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start with one small habit, and the rest will follow.
You know, it all sounds so structured, but I have to ask, what do you do when things don't go according to plan? Like when something unexpected happens?
Oh, believe me, that happens all the time. Life isn't perfect, and neither is my routine. The key is to be flexible. If something unexpected comes up, I don't panic. I adjust my schedule and make sure I stay calm. Stressing out only makes things worse.
That's true, but it's easier said than done. How do you stay calm when everything feels like it's falling apart?
It took me a while to learn, but I've realized that it's all about mindset. If something goes wrong, I tell myself it's not the end of the world. I'll figure it out. I also practice mindfulness. It helps me stay grounded.
Mindfulness? What's that exactly?
Mindfulness is basically staying present in the moment. It means focusing on what's happening right now, instead of worrying about the future or thinking about the past. If something unexpected happens, I take a deep breath, focus on the present, and think about what I can do in that moment to fix things.
That sounds like something I could really use. I'm always stressing about the future or worrying about things that already happened.
It takes practice, but it's worth it. I like to take 5 minutes every morning to meditate. It helps clear my mind and prepares me for whatever the day brings. Even if you don't meditate, just taking a few deep breaths can make a big difference.
Meditation. Ha, I've never tried that. What do you do? Just sit there with your eyes closed?
Pretty much. I sit quietly, close my eyes, and focus on my breathing. I try to let go of any thoughts that come up. It sounds simple, but it's surprisingly powerful.
I think I'll give that a shot. It sounds like it could help me start the day with a clear head.
It's definitely worth trying. Another thing I do is practice gratitude. Every day, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for. It helps me stay positive, even when things don't go according to plan.
Gratitude? That's interesting. What kinds of things do you write down?
Anything, really. It could be something big, like being grateful for my health, or something small, like being thankful for a good cup of coffee. Focusing on the positives helps shift my mindset.
I like that idea. It's easy to get caught up in what's going wrong, but focusing on the good stuff might make a big difference.
Exactly. When you're grateful for the little things, the big problems don't seem as overwhelming. It's all about perspective.
You've really thought this through. I've got to admit, I've been going through my days without much structure, and now I'm starting to see how much I could benefit from a routine like yours.
It's never too late to start. Mike, the great thing about routines is that they're personal. You can create one that works just for you. The key is to start small and build from there. Don't try to change everything all at once.
So, where do you think I should start? If I want to build a routine, what's the first step?
Start by focusing on your mornings. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Try waking up at the same time every day and see how that feels. Add a few healthy habits, maybe drink water first thing in the morning, or do a quick stretch. You don't have to do everything at once. Just one or two small changes can make a huge difference.
That sounds manageable. I've always thought routines had to be strict, but it seems like you're saying it's more about building habits over time.
Exactly. Routines should help you, not stress you out. The goal is to create a structure that works for you, not to follow a rigid schedule that makes you feel trapped. Flexibility is important. If something doesn't work, change it.
You make it sound so simple. I think I've been overcomplicating things for too long. I'm going to try starting with just the morning and see how it goes from there.
That's the best way to do it. Once you have a solid morning routine, everything else will start to fall into place. You'll feel more energized, more focused, and more in control of your day.
I'm excited to give it a try. Maybe I'll even start tonight by going to bed earlier. That way, I'll be ready to wake up at 6 a.m. like you.
That's a great idea. Going to bed at a consistent time is just as important as waking up early. A good night's sleep sets you up for success the next day.
You're right. I usually stay up late watching TV or scrolling through my phone, and I always end up regretting it in the morning.
We've all been there, but setting a bedtime and sticking to it will make a huge difference. I try to wind down about an hour before bed. I put away my phone, dim the lights, and read a book or listen to something relaxing.
That sounds nice. I usually just fall asleep with the TV on, but maybe I'll try reading instead.
Reading is a great way to relax before bed. It helps you unwind and gets your mind off of any stress from the day. Plus, it's better for your sleep than staring at a screen.
I've heard that screens can mess with your sleep, but I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until now. I'm definitely going to make some changes.
That's great to hear. Start small, be consistent, and don't be too hard on yourself. Routines take time to build, but once you get into the flow, you'll wonder how you ever managed without one.
I can already see how it would help me feel more in control of my day. Right now, I feel like I'm just reacting to everything that happens, instead of having a plan.
That's exactly it. A routine gives you control. It doesn't mean everything will always go perfectly, but it helps you stay grounded, even when things get chaotic.
I think I've been living in chaos for too long. It's time to make some changes. Thanks for sharing your routine with me, Sarah. You've really opened my eyes to how much better things can be with just a little structure.
I'm glad I could help. It's all about finding what works for you. Just remember, routines aren't about perfection, they're about consistency. If you can stick to a few simple habits, the rest will follow.
You've definitely inspired me to start. I'll let you know how it goes after a week of trying this out.
I can't wait to hear about it. Good luck, Mike. I know you'll do great.